this Centremaps recording. Today we're lucky enough to be hosted by Groundsure with Marc and Harries today, talking us through the Insight Reports.
So we've got the Groundsure Insight. It's our most comprehensive report for contaminated land purposes, and that consists of the Enviro Insight, the Geo Insight, and also the Map Insight. So that's what the environmental consultants will purchase when they need to do a PRA, which is a preliminary risk assessment, which used to be called a Phase 1 report. If it's flagged for contaminated land, then they'll have to do a PRA, which they need data for. So that's where we come in. Sometimes that will be passed on for the geotechnical aspects, or sometimes the environmental consultant will write that bit themselves, but very often the report will be passed to another department.
Into different ways.
Yeah, it can be used in different ways, but generally all for the same purpose, for different stages of the project.
The historical maps, it is, as well as being interesting and visually be able to drive information, actually that's a big thing I think for Groundsure, wasn't it, when the sheer range of dates and the amount of scales, and actually then turning that into the data that powers the report. So although it's there in its own right, it's actually behind a lot of the data in the report as well.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. Before I got into this role, you just don't kind of think about these things, how you get digital maps, but we're really proud of our map collection. They're scanned in at over 500 dots per inch. The human eye can only see 500 dots per inch, so it's literally as high as the eye can see the detail on them.
And that made all that interpretation and digitising it to power the reports that much more, with greater confidence and greater ability to pick out all the text descriptions, all of the features.
Exactly, and that's what then comes into the Enviro report and the Geo, but mainly on the Enviro. So when you have your summary of findings, that's what all the features come from the maps.
Right.
And obviously it's enriched with lots of other data sets as well, from a lot of our partners like the BGS and the Coal Authority. So it comes a lot from the maps, but there's a lot of extra data sets put in there as well.
Yeah. And all the data is arranged in terms of its sort of distance from the site, isn't it? So we also make a point to our customers, when they're buying data, they want to buy an area around a site, but actually for the reports, it is defining the site, because it's important how far you're looking beyond the site to spot the risks.
Exactly, yeah, that's a very good point. With the PDF reports, they come with a red line boundary on them, and then they come auto-buffered out to 2 kilometres. But when it comes to GIS, we have to buffer it, so you only get what's inside the boundary. So if you need to see past the boundary, you have to buffer it. Yeah. But then you can manipulate the data yourself much easier on the geospatial software.
I know there used to be a separate flood report as part of it, but actually that's all in the Enviro Insight now, isn't it? So that entire flood risk element.
Yeah, it's very important, flood risk, because everything that the environmental consultants think about and when they're writing the reports comes down to the conceptual site model, source, pathway, receptor. So that's when every part of their report is what they're thinking of, and you have to think rivers are a massive linkage to humans from any sort of potential contaminant.
Yeah, and that's both the pluvial across the surface as well as the river and tidal.
Yeah.
So it's actually all of those different elements.
Yeah.
So it's so comprehensive. For a lot of our clients, obviously there's a lot of data in there, and actually it's one thing that's sort of easily overlooked about the report is how it's well organised to be able to navigate to those bits.
Exactly. Back in 2020 the report was redesigned, and the main focus on that was for navigation and design. If you go to the summary of findings, you can click and it brings you to the exact part of the report that you need. So you can look at that, interpret what you need, but then in the bottom corner of the report there's a home button, and that brings you right back to where you were before.
Right.
So you don't have to spend days and weeks scrolling through a report.
Yeah. So we've got the flood as a part of the Enviro, the historic, and then the geology, and as well as BGS updating the data that you've obviously developed a bit over the last couple of years.
We recently updated to have non-coal mining data on there, which has been really popular. We were kind of thinking of which way to go with it, and we contacted a lot of our customers to sense check what was important to them, and the non-coal mining data was really important. We've got a great team down in Cornwall who recently became part of the Groundsure family, and they're a really good part of the company.
Yeah, it's all part of that pattern of work, Groundsure. If you were to try and collect this information yourself, there's so many bits where you'd have to go and collect the data and know that it exists to start with. And
like you've seen today in the office, all these people here, they're real humans behind the platform. Yeah. Some people might think it's just like an automated thing, but there's actually lots of very, very smart people that pull all this information together and give us the data that we need. So yeah, we're really lucky to have that team.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marc. So lots of information on the site. If you need to get an order started, as usual, along with all the other data and reports, you can get on and create your order area and get a report ordered. And if you do need any support, get in touch. But thanks again to Marc for today. It's been really useful, and we will have another Groundsure video to watch out for, looking at the ground screen service as well. So thanks again, Marc.
Yeah, thank you.